You're coming to stand beautifully tall. And we're going to flow into the peace posture first, which is basically a forward bend, but you're hanging out there. Now, if you have high blood pressure or a heart condition, you may want to not hang out there, but go down onto your hands and knees after a while. Or perhaps not do it at all, just go down to your hands and knees, okay? So let's begin. We're going to go slow, and we're going to go from the head first. So letting the chin tuck in towards the throat. So there's a gradual folding and curling down of the spine. As the head pulls forwards, you're allowing the shoulders to move, the arms are relaxed. You're softening the knees, so you take the weight through the feet and not through the knees. You're letting the upper back curl over, and then the lower spine. Keep your core engaged. Keep the knees soft as you fold down towards the floor, totally relaxed into your forward bend. And you just pause there. If you've got long arms like me, you may want to hold your elbows just to let that, have them do something. And then you can play a little bit with straight legs or slightly bent legs, just relaxing in that forward bend. So keep focusing on letting go through the belly, letting go through the spine, as though there was this lovely pouring, outward pouring of the spine towards the earth. And it's called peace pose because when you hold this position, you actually become really peaceful. It sort of soothes the brain, empties it out. And you can really feel it stretching through the shoulder blades. And release the arms now. Bring the hands to the floor, bend the knees, and come onto your hands and knees. So make sure that you have your knees under your hips and your hands are shoulder width apart with the middle fingers pointing forwards. Have a gap between the knees. And you're coming into a neutral position with the spine. And then we're moving into a cat-cow position. So tucking the tailbone under, rounding the back, chin to the throat, pushing away with hands and knees. Inhaling, lengthening tailbone, hollowing the back, looking forwards. And exhale. Round the spine up to the ceiling, tail to nose. In breath, lengthening the tail, lifting the head. And do that once more. Exhaling, rounding that back, chin to throat. Inhale, lift the tail, lift the head. And then bring that body into a neutral position. We're going to draw the right knee forwards. Okay, so your right knee is forwards. And if you look at your foot, it's next to your knee. Let me change legs. So you can see the foot is next to the knee there, right? Have your hands on the floor. We're moving into pigeon pose. You're going to just slide the back leg along the mat and coming towards sitting on that bent leg, right? Okay. And then you can walk your hands forwards until your body comes to lie over that leg in your pigeon pose. And then on the next in-breath, walk your hands backwards towards your front knee. Slide the back leg forwards. And bring yourself back into your cat position. Okay. I'm just turning my body round so you can see the position again. You're going to slide the other knee now back so that your, hang on. So that your foot is in line with the back knee, right? That's it. And then when you're ready, you are sliding the back leg backwards. So you come to rest on that bent leg. And then you slowly walk the hands forwards till the body is lying on the bent leg. And if you can, you're resting your head on the floor or perhaps on your fists. If you can't get there, that's fine. Just enjoying the stretch through that bent leg, perhaps through the straight leg as well. On the next in-breath, you're walking hands closer to the knee, drawing the back leg upwards, and perhaps sinking into extended child just for a moment. And then rising back up onto hands and knees, you're going to come into a seated position. And you're going to come to lie down on your side with your elbow on the floor. So your elbow is on the floor. Your legs are going to be bent. Knees are forwards. And you've got one leg on top of the other. The feet are in line with your spine. So your feet are in line with your spine. And when you look, your knees are in front of you. Okay? Adjust the body a little so that you can feel comfortable, because sometimes when we lie on that hip and that thigh, it really feels a little painful. The idea is to keep this upper hip still. So if you want to, you can put a hand on it just to make sure that it's not shifting backwards. You don't want it to shift backwards. You want it to stay where it is, static. Push through the elbow you're leaning on, so you bring integrity through the body and you're not collapsing in a heap on your arm. And then drawing in the core, you're going to inhale and lift the upper knee, but keep the hip where it is, and then lower that knee down. So you're lowering in steady, gradual manner. In breath is lifting, pause, and out breath is lowering. And in, lift, watch that, hip isn't moving, and exhale down. In breath, make sure you're pushing away from the mat with your elbow that you're leaning on and you're not collapsing onto that arm. Exhale, lower. One more time, in breath, really good for your knees. So if you need to strengthen knees, this is an excellent one. And release. So you're either rolling onto your side or coming into seated and then swinging legs round the other side. So it depends if you're facing me or not. So again, elbow below the shoulder, fingers and palm to the floor. Check that your feet are in straight line with your body and that your knees are pointing forwards. Adjust the body so that your hip and your thigh is comfortable. Place your other hand on your hip and push away from the mat with your elbows, so you are really full of integrity in the upper body. On an in-breath, you're lifting the upper knee, keeping your hip in place, not letting it rock forwards or back. Exhaling, lower. In-breath, lift. And exhale, lower. And 3 more times, in-breath. And exhale, lower. In-breath, lift. Maybe you can feel some clunking, lower. And the last time, in-breath, lift. And exhale, lower. Excellent. Rolling over. You are going on to your back. Shuffle down towards the end of the mat and come to lie down. We're going to work really simply with the abdominals. So take your hands and place them, the fingertips, just under the back where your small of your back is. You know, where your back of your waist lifts slightly off the floor, perhaps. Bring the feet, not close to the buttocks, just comfortably away. You're going to exhale, draw the navel down to the spine and push the small of the back into the mat. So you should feel a gentle pressure on the fingers. Once you feel that pressure, you can release the arms to either side of the body. You hold that position by keeping the abdominals contracted. Now, the position of the leg stays in that same bent position. So focus on your right foot and flex the foot. Keep the leg in that position as you lift the knee and slowly lift it towards your body. But keep pushing down with the small of your back. And then once the knee doesn't have to be very close, then you're slowly lowering that leg in that position so the foot eventually comes back down to the floor. Okay? And then you can release that lower back if you need to. And then re-engage the abdominals, pushing the small of the back into the mat and really holding it there. Flex the left foot, and in that bend position, you're lifting the knee incrementally in small stages closer and closer to the body. If you're doing this correctly, you will feel the abdominal muscles really working quite hard. So you go really slow with that leg up and really slow with it back down again. And then in between, you can release that contraction through the abdominals and then re-engage, pulling in the abdominals, pushing down the small of the back, holding tightly, flexing right foot, knee starts lifting towards the body, slow and steady. Keep that back pushing down and then slowly lowering that whole leg in that position with the foot flexed back down to the floor. And then relax the lower back area. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, draw in the abdominals, press the small of the back into the mat, really hold it down, flex the left foot and slowly draw that left knee towards the chest. And then when you come far enough, you then go the other way. Keep pushing the small of the back down into the floor. Once the foot is on the floor, releasing the body. Take the feet as wide as your mat. Take your arms slightly out to the side and just let your knees fall, both of them, fall over to one side. Keep your shoulders in contact with the ground. And if you want to, you can turn your head to look in the opposite direction. And then in-breath draws the head and the knees back to center. And the out-breath takes the knees over to the other side and the head turns in the opposite direction. And just feel that stretch. Do that one more time. In-breath to center. Out-breath to the other side. Just a nice gentle stretch. So you stretch out those abdominal muscles. You stretch into the front of the thigh, your quadriceps. In-breath to center. And out-breath to the other side. A simple stretch, but very effective. In-breath back to the center, bring the feet closer together and roll onto your side, coming into a seated position.